Peace and love. What's up, family? How are we doing? Damn. So, I've been live on Instagram in forever. Um, yeah, just getting back to my lives. I've been away for like 2.5 weeks. Um, man, I fractured my skull. I had a concussion. Issues with playing basketball, man. Just knocked my noodle a little bit. But we're getting back there. What are you talking about today? Today, for some of you guys who might have checked my Facebook, right? I went live earlier today on Facebook just a little bit ago about not trying doing, right? So let me just put that as a tag here that we're not talking about doing is the key, right? So we're going to talk about how to do and why to get rid of the notion of trying, right? The notion of trying and why that's hindering us from getting to some of the things that we want to get. So let's see if we can talk about this a little bit. So why do I say this? Why is this something that I bring up? Why is this something that I want to talk about? The main reason why I want to talk about this, right, is because in a lot of my inboxes and things like that, I have a lot of people who are making journeys, they're making changes, they're making all these different great advancements, but they're having trouble, right? They're having trouble with it because they're coming to me with a mindset that might not be exactly helping them get to the place that they're trying to get to, right? So why is it trying that's doing this? So when I say that I'm trying to do something, right, you have to first understand the notion of how your mind works, right? You have two different parts of your mind, right? You have the short term and the long term, the higher self, the lower self, right? The God, the devil, all these two different mixes, the duality of brain and thought, right? So when I think about the duality of my brain and thought, right, and how I base my thoughts on, right? There's one side of your brain, which is your short term, which is going to almost like make excuses for you. It's going to let you know why everything's okay. It's okay because this. It's you did this for this reason, right? But you also have that other nature of your brain that's holding you to a higher core that's like, regardless of what you think, you can and will do this, right? So when we're talking about this and we're having this discussion about why is doing just the key, because once I know that I'm doing it, it's done, right? So if you want to change your lifestyle, right, it's not about trying to change your lifestyle. It's about just actively doing it and changing your lifestyle. Because when I try, I'm allowing myself the notion that it's okay to fall up short. It's okay to try, get up, try again. No, that's not how it works, right? Now, when you're on your path to make a change in your life, right? So if you're for people who talk to me about diet and they're trying to change up their nutrition and eat cleaner and all this stuff, if you're doing it, right? Now there might be times like you might have a day where you slip off, right? I eat something that I know isn't really on the wave of what I'm trying to do, blah, blah, but if I'm actively doing it still, I just kind of took like a little hop off, hop on. It was like a double dutch for a second, right? But that doesn't mean that I'm all the way off the path, right? But if I'm always telling myself that I'm trying to do shit, right? I'm trying to eat better, right? I'm trying to do this, I'm automatically saying, I'm looking at the obstacles, right? So if I was trying to run from point A to point B, right? When I say that I'm trying to go from point A to point B, the only reason that I wouldn't be able to say I'm going to get from point A to point B is because I'm looking at obstacles that might be in my way, right? There has to be obstacles in your way that deter you from point A to point B, which would make me think that I have to try, right? I have to try to get from point A to point B because there's this hurdle here, there's a ditch there, there's this, and this. So when I'm trying to do something, I'm automatically looking at the obstacles, right? And I'm not polarizing myself with the reasons why I can. I'm not polarizing with the do it inside of me, the this shit can get done, right? Because we all have things that show us how things get done within our reality. We all have things that are conscious reminders that things get done. That whenever I put my mind to something, it gets done. No matter what, I just have to put my mind to it, right? Anyone play sports, anyone play instruments, anyone play any of these different things. When you do this, the first thing you find out is that all I have to say is that I will do it and it becomes done. Because all I have to do is do it. Like, if you want to learn how to play the guitar, you don't just say, "Oh, I'm going to try to play the guitar." No, you pick up a guitar and you do it and you actually do learn, right? And once you do the learning on playing the guitar, you become a guitar player. You're able to play, right? You're able to strum because you're doing. You're not trying, right? So this comes from a lot of different things. So what are some things that help you to do? What are ways to help yourself do things, right? The main way to help yourself do things is to define your reality. Defining your reality is the key to getting things done. Now, when I say define your reality, to many people this means many different things, but it really secularly means one major thing, right? It means that you have to point out the things in your reality and have an understanding of what the things that are helpful and hindering to what you're trying to do, right? So I have to see what are all the things that'll help me get to where I gotta go. So okay, if I want to change my diet, right? Say you want to eat, you want to be a vegan, right? So for me, right? For me, I was a meat eater and did all this stuff. One, I started watching. I was really sick I was having gastrointestinal issues. I was having like blood in my stool, all those kind of crazy things. I went to the doctor. They were trying to tell me that like I had to take all these meds for it, but it wasn't something I could heal. And for some reason, I just didn't believe it. I was just sitting there like, yo, I can't heal this shit. This is bullshit. Like I gotta be taking these pills the rest of my life. Like come on now. So what did I do? I went online, I started doing research. I found Dr. Sebi. I found Dr. Sebi and the alkaline diet. I was like, yo, what the heck? This is so dope. I watched Dr. Sebi videos for 3 weeks straight. Watched the in and outs. I was watching other people who were doing the alkaline diet, how they were cooking. And I was sitting there like, yo, if I can watch all of these things, if I can really see this and I can take it in, then I can do it. If I can watch it, I can do it. If I can see someone else do it, I can do it because we're all the same. So if someone's over here cooking alkaline meals and stuff, I can cook an alkaline meal. Like there's nothing stopping me from doing it. So one day I just had enough and I just went into my fridge. I threw everything out. Threw all the shit out. Everything. All the meat, all the dairy, all the eggs, everything. Threw it out. All the bread. I went to Whole Foods. Went there with the alkaline list. I bought exactly what was there for alkaline food. I bought all the food, threw it in my cart, bang. From that day forth, I started eating alkaline. 1 month later, all my symptoms were gone. Every single thing that I had a problem with, I was using alkaline herbs, I was using all. Everything was gone. Everything was gone. No blood in my stool, no hemorrhoids, no nothing. I was like, my poop was coming out super, super smooth, right? Wasn't really smelling. It was like, what the, like, this is crazy. And it only took 1 month. So I was like, damn, there's so much truth to this. There's real truth here. But that's why sometimes I tell people, like, you don't have to try. If I was to sit there and say, yo, I'm going to try and do this, I would have slowly started to try and transition myself. I would have, like, bought a little bit of vegetables here, got a little bit of stuff here, ate only eggs, done this. But there's got to be a point where you're just like, nah, done. I'm done. Because I know I can do it, right? And you have to give yourself that respect, right? It's about respecting yourself, right? We have to start to respect ourselves. Right? Respecting yourself is going to lead to everything that you're trying to do. Because when you respect yourself, you know that you are powerful and you can do, you are the doer. Because you're the creator of your own reality. Like, if I want to write a book, I'm the one who writes the book. If I want to do work, if I want to do anything, I'm the one who does it. So if I can go to a job and turn nothing into something for my employee, I can turn nothing into something for my employer, I can turn nothing into something for myself. I can change my own diet. I can seek health for myself. I don't need to always go and see like some specialist to make sure that I'm okay. I can just actively learn what needs to happen in order for me to be healthy and apply, right? But sometimes when we try, we make it seem like that's a shot in the dark. You never want to do that. Right? You always want to understand and side with the notion that like you can do and you will do, right? Because it's about the willingness and it's about the participant. I gotta be a willing participant in what I'm trying to do here in order to get certain things done. And we all can do this. Something that anyone can do, right? It just takes with being able to side with that notion, right? So defining your reality, what does that mean? So like when I had to make my change, I had to look actively at like, how are my eating patterns, right? How are my thinking patterns that push my eating patterns? Because how you think reflects in how you eat sometimes. Because certain foods bring out certain natures within yourself. Some foods are comfort foods. Some foods are foods that you eat when you're stressed. Some foods are foods that you eat when you're looking to feel like you're being nurtured and hugged. Like some foods feel like a warm hug. People, you hear that stuff, right? So foods actually trigger certain emotions. So when you understand why you eat, what are some of the problems with what you eat and things of this nature, you can start to diagnose what are your symptoms. What are the things that you're suffering from mentally and physically that are causing you to manifest your diet into a certain thing, are causing you to manifest your thoughts into a certain frequency? So once you do these things in defining your reality, then you can make a change. But that takes time because you have to respect yourself. Respect means to revisit. I relook at, I review, I look over again. What are the things that I need to change? So once I do this and I create this notion of respecting who I am and respecting this ideology, I can now make a major change in who I am. I can make a major change in a lot of things that are going on, into diet, into all these different things. Right? Because it's not about trying. You can do anything you want, right? And that's why I'm here to, this video is to just remind you and remind us that we can do anything we want. It's just about doing it, right? Anything you're trying to do, you can do. You see people do quote unquote miraculous things all the time, right? But why? Because once they have their mindset on it, they just go and do it. And they don't let anyone move them off the path. They don't let things move them away from what they understand is something that they can do, right? There's no problem with it, right? You just gotta funnel your energy and attention, your focus. I gotta focus in order to be able to eat like alkaline stuff. I had to focus on how to eat alkaline. Like, I had to focus on how to do these things. I had to focus on why I shouldn't be eating dairy, why I shouldn't be eating meat. And it takes a lot because a lot of programming. Like, it's not easy either. Like, it's not something that's easy, right? People think that everything should be easy because we see all these commercials. Like, look at every commercial on TV. It's about how to do things like so quickly. It's about how to make it happen fast. It's about how to just like get exactly what you want. Minimum effort involved, minimum thought involved, and it just like comes your way. But that's not how life is. Anything that you actually like had to work for and ever was worth it, you always had to think about, right? You always had to put a lot of energy into it. You always had to really focus on it. You had to do it over and over again. You had to reassess, reevaluate how you were doing it to make sure you're doing it the proper way. That doesn't change. None of that changes. It goes the same way, but it's just about how your mindset is about doing it. So people talk to me about positive affirmations. Hey Matt, what do you think about positive philos? What do you think about positive affirmation? How do you feel about, I feel like when you have for positive affirmations, it's literally just helping you to program your thoughts again, right? You have to program your thoughts again. Why? Because if you were thinking your whole life that the glass was half empty, you got to teach yourself how to look at it half full. But then you get to a certain point where you do so much positive affirmations that you're programmed to be positive affirmations all the time, right? So there are times like when I'm like literally, I could be, something could come into my reality and it's like, damn, this kind of like hurts a little bit. But all of a sudden my brain just starts like, you're good. It's like, it's you. Why are you worried about that? My brain will automatically kick in positive affirmation. I'm like, yo, what the heck is this? Because I programmed it to do that shit for me. So how do I get over things so easy? I could be in a position where it's like, damn, that's rough. 5, 10 minutes later, I'm like, okay, cool, ba ba ba. Like, right on to an argument with someone. It was like it was a real lower self thing. It was like, damn, I'm in conflict with this person. I don't know why. It was a very like tough situation. I'm sitting there, and like it's when someone like when you just have misunderstandings with someone, they might just be perceiving you from a alleyway that will never make sense to who you are, right? So the way this person was perceiving me was just like way off key, and it like made me really upset. And literally, I just left. I was like, I'm getting out of this premises right now. And I just went on a walk. And literally, the second I got outside and started walking, I felt a million times better. Why? Because my mind just started looking like, hey, there's the trees. Look at the trees, man. Look at these trees out here. Wow, look at these bushes. Look at this person with the hydrangeas. How'd they get hydrangeas in the winter? What the hell? What kind of like weird GMO shit is this? But it shit made me happy. I was looking around like, damn, this is cool. Because my brain was doing the positive affirmations for me, and it's a key, right? You never have to try to do anything. All you have to do is do, and it's done, and it's being, right? It's just very easy like that. So what are some keys? Like when I say define your reality, that's the major key. I gotta know why. I gotta know where. I gotta know how. I gotta know what things build into this situation to make this thing happen, right? And once I can start doing that, and once I can start seeing why this happens, how this happens, things of this nature, it's everything falls into place after that. Once I understand myself and my own thought process, I can change anything I want to about myself, right? Because I just have to sit down in the passenger seat for a little bit and look at the driver. Like when you're in a passenger seat, you could see what a driver, if someone's a good or bad driver, right? Because you're watching what they do. You're like, oh shit, this person doesn't really stop at stop signs. That might be a problem. I gotta be mindful of cars and stuff. Like, you can see because you're looking at it objectively. You're not just worried about like, okay, I'm in the driver's seat now. You have to do that with yourself. Take some time and really sit back and look at some of the things you do and look at it from another perspective. Like, okay, if I was to say, like when someone came at me from another perspective, sometimes like when I think back on it, I like it because like, yo, damn, so this is gonna teach me some truth. So if I'm doing certain things, here's how it might come off. Like some people like that I'm close to have problems with me because I do herbalist work for free. They're like, you just give away all this stuff. Like you're just you'll pay money for it, and because I'm like, yo, why am I gonna keep them away from health? Like, if I bought herbs and they're sitting inside this like container here, and they need the herbs, like, and I don't need the herbs. I'm good. I just have the herbs for just in case I was ever get sick or something like that. Was when I bought all of them, I got like a big like deal on all these herbs in bulk. So like they need them. Like I'm just gonna give them up. Like okay, you need these herbs right now more than me. Take the herbs. There's no problem with that. People like you don't charge, you don't hourly. What the? Why? Because like that's what people are doing, and that's why we're in the state that we are today. So if I was to live my life based on that notion, I would just be propagating the same exact system that's doing what it's doing today, and I don't want to do that, right? But I can see the perspectives that they're coming from too, because they're like, oh, what's your stability? What's your structure like? How can you buy food? How do you do this? I do other things to get money. I attain money when I need to, but on the other end of things, like there's some times where you don't really need to be so actively on it to do that. But that's what it's about is doing. It's about defining your reality. What are some of the things that tick in your reality? What are some of the things that might cause you to move certain ways? So I know because I do some of that, sometimes I come into conflict with people. And that stresses me out a little bit because I'm someone who just likes to bounce through and be like all cool with people. I'm very like, hey, let's go. Like, let's be on this positive thing because I look very toughly at myself. I'm someone who's very critical on myself. My Virgo ascendant makes that shit very tough, right? I'm very critical about how I eat, what the things I put in my body, my daily routines, my rituals, certain things that I do. Very critical about that. I got a lot of placements in the eighth house. I'm very into occult knowledge, so I'll learn about things that kind of like are a little often a little taboo, but if they make sense, I'm like, damn, I gotta really apply this, right? And I'll be critical on myself to apply those things. So I know those things can make certain playouts happen within my life, right? But I know that if I sit there and always say that I'm going to try to do these things, then I'm going to really be down on myself because I won't be able to accomplish these things. I won't be able to do them. But the thing that I know is like once I learn it and I see it, I can do it. From that point on, it's done. It's already been done. I already spoke it into existence and I did the actions that make it happen. Like why do you get good grades in school? Why do people get good grades in school? Some people get good grades in school and they don't even know how that can help them in everything else in their entire life, right? Because they see it get done, they realize they can do it, and then instead of saying, I'm going to try to be able to solve this equation, they say, I can solve the equation, I can do it because I saw it done and I saw how it was done. So I don't need anything else. But people, when it comes to a diet, won't acknowledge that. They'll say, I see it done, I see other people doing it, and see how it's done, but I'm gonna just try and do it. That doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. That's why it doesn't feel right when you say it. That's why people have cognitive dissonance. They'll get angry with you when you say anything that changes their perspective or challenges what they're trying to do, because it's tough on them. And I see that stuff happening. Um, but you just gotta be open. You gotta be woke, and you just gotta be able to critically look at yourself and say, "Yo, I'm not doing this properly." Right? I shouldn't be trying. I shouldn't be doing. I'm a self-empowered being. I'm self-actualized. All I gotta say is, yo, I will it to be done, and it's done, right? And you gotta know what you're trying to do. That's whether you're trying to start a business, whether you're trying to like be a better person, you're trying to have a better outlook, you're trying to do stretch more, you're trying like I don't know, you're trying to breathe more. Quick second for anyone who hasn't breathed today. Take a deep breath in, release that bad boy. Taking some oxygen because some people don't breathe. Sometimes I talk so fast, like, yo, am I breathing? But then I'm like, yeah, of course, or I pass out. But anyway, yeah, how do you express these things? How do you explain these things? How do you move? How do you do, right? Doing is key. No more trying, right? We gotta stop trying and just start knowing that we can do. Because once you get on that frequency, then everything comes a lot easier. There's no need to try. There's no need to try and be healthy. There's no need to try to attract a mate. There's no need to try and do all of this. All you have to do is do it. Say, I am attracting a mate. And they're on their way. Don't worry. Don't worry about the timing, but when the timing comes, just be ready to accept it. And I am going to attract this. I am going to make this better. I am going to make this change. I have already made the change. Because I acknowledge that I need to make the change, technically I'm already making the change. Right? So be more on a positive note with yourself. Understand that. Move on it. Be dope, right? I love you all. I love myself. Have a great day.